The only mammals that can really fly are bats. The fastest bat is the Brazilian free-tailed bat, which can fly up to 100 miles per hour. It's a good thing there aren't any bat police officers handing out speeding tickets. This speed is measured when the bat is flying straight ahead, not diving for food. Other mammals, like squirrels, can glide. Gliding mammals usually use flaps of skin between their legs and body to help them catch the air. One interesting gliding mammal is the Petaurus, a marsupial, or an animal with a pouch that lives in Australia and New Guinea. They glide from tree to tree, sometimes traveling as much as 400 feet. Stamped concrete, sometimes referred to as patterned or imprinted concrete, is concrete that is dyed, altered and shaped to resemble a number of other construction materials like brick, flagstone, tile and wood. You can do the same thing with asphalt, stone or precast pavers, but stamped concrete now has more patterns and color options. It also allows for customization at an affordable price. If you have a specific look in mind for a pathway or patio, there's a good chance stamped concrete can deliver it. Development concerns whether or not the child is growing, particularly towards their own potential as well as discovering and developing their own strengths and talents. Socialization takes into consideration how the teenager responds to and participates with family, friends, siblings, and peers. With academics, the consideration is with work habits, performance, and the teenager's general attitude towards school and their own education. When we look at consistency between home and school, we are looking at how the student is developing skills for self-regard as well as their own expectations regarding their behavior and responsibilities. The food chain is an important part of an ecosystem. Biotic and abiotic factors both contribute to it. The plants prepare food with the help of sunlight, water, minerals, and carbon dioxide. These plants are eaten by herbivorous animals, which are plant eaters. Further, they become the food for carnivorous animals. Man stands at the top of the food chain and is called the ultimate consumer. During this whole process, the transfer of energy takes place in every stage. Plants render oxygen to the animals and man. In return, animals and man exhale carbon dioxide, which is taken up by the plants. Public domain works are those where the copyright expired or never existed. They belong to the public and are free for anyone to read, watch, or remix into new media. For many countries, copyright on creative work expires 50 to 70 years after the creator's death, making the first day of the new year one to celebrate a fresh batch of books, movies, art, music, and even scientific research entering the public domain. Creativity is ultimately personal. When being creative, you are making something unique and new. You may have taken inspiration from other sources, but the end product is uniquely your own. Humans are constantly being innovative and inventive, and everyone is capable of this in their own way. However, this end product is more often than not subjective. There is no guarantee that people will like it. Everyone's opinion is different, and what appeals to one may not to another. Earlier this year, astronomers stumbled upon a fascinating finding: thousands of black holes likely exist near the center of our galaxy. The X-ray images that enabled this discovery weren't from some state-of-the-art new telescope. Nor were they even recently taken. Some of the data was collected nearly 20 years ago. The researchers discovered the black holes by digging through old, long-archived data. Discoveries like this will only become more common, as the era of big data changes how science is done. The larynx may not get the same amount of attention as the heart or lungs, but it's still an important internal organ. Nestled in the necks of people and animals, the larynx houses the vocal cords that allow for noisemaking and speech, and is below the epiglottis, a leaf-shaped flap that prevents choking by keeping food and drink out of the lungs. Salamanders are classified as amphibians. Like all other amphibians, i.e., frogs, they have backbones and three-chambered hearts. Other traits are skin-deep. Amphibians tend to lack scales, for instance. They're also capable of breathing through several different means. Some species have lungs, some use feathery gills, and many absorb oxygen straight through the skin. Employing all three methods at once isn't unheard of. Apart from the fully aquatic species, most amphibians divide their lives between land and water. To mass-produce the flu vaccine, a large amount of virus needs to be replicated. Vaccine manufacturers do this in eggs or in animal cell lines from which the virus can be harvested. The final product may contain trace amounts of egg protein. Even individuals with egg allergies can usually receive these vaccines. However, for those with severe allergy to egg proteins, flu vaccines that don't contain egg protein are available.